I want to speak about two very profound movements of the heart, two movements that shape the whole arc of healing and awakening. The first movement is the releasing of these core belief of unworthiness, the softening of the hardened layers of self-loathing, of self-judgment and shame, the loosening of that voice inside of us, the one that whispers or sometimes screams, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy of love, something's wrong with me. And the second movement is what naturally arises when the first movement begins to loosen. It's a quiet remembering of our goodness, a returning to inherent dignity, a flowering of compassion toward ourselves, and a tender, unmistakable recognition of worthiness. And we don't force the second movement. We simply create the conditions for the first to relax, even slightly. And the heart begins to open on its own. So, to understand this first movement, we need to be clear about what shame is. Shame isn't guilt. Shame or guilt says, I did something wrong. Now, shame says, I am something wrong. And what we learn is that guilt is about our actions, but shame is about identity. Shame isn't tied often to a specific age or a situation. It can arise from any overwhelming experience, a moment that contradicts our beliefs about ourselves and about the world, a moment where the system can't make sense of what's happening, a moment that shatters the belief that the world is safe or predictable or meaningful. Sometimes shame arises from a moment that shatters the belief that we are fundamentally good or capable or worthy. And this might have happened in our childhood. It might have happened 20 years ago, this morning, or an hour ago. Shame is born anytime that reality collides violently with our deepest assumptions about who we are and how the world works. And our nervous system, overwhelmed, reaches for the simplest conclusion available, that it must be my fault, that it must be that I'm the problem. And this isn't stupidity, it's not deficiency, it's just the mind and heart attempting to protect us. Okay. Overwhelming experiences fracture our core beliefs, and when that fracture is deep enough, the self becomes unworthy in its own eyes. So shame isn't a moral truth. Think of it like a survival adaptation. So shame doesn't live in the mind alone. It actually lives in the whole body experience. People often describe wanting to disappear, to sink into the floor, to hide from the world. Shame isolates us. It convinces us that that we are alone, and that no one would understand, that we must withdraw and conceal ourselves. So shame silences expression, not because there is nothing to say, but because the body believes that speaking would lead to rejection. And because a hidden experience can't be processed, it can't be transformed. As one teaching puts it, what we can hold, we can process. What we process, we transform. And what we transform no longer has the power to haunt us. So the haunting is what so many of us recognize. So shame isn't a moment. Shame becomes like a loop, a pattern, a self-confirmation machine. And because it feels like it's our identity, we rarely question it. So, in these teachings, however, all conditioned things arise due to specific causes and conditions. Nothing stands alone. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is ourself. Shame feels like an identity. But it's not an identity. It's a contraction. It's a learned reaction. It's a story woven of sensation, of memory, interpretation. So, according to both ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience and psychology, emotions are not fixed truths, but think of them like energy moving through the body. The brain interprets that energy, the mind creates meaning around it, and over time that meaning becomes a belief. But beliefs can change. Meaning can change. Our mind and heart can learn again that shame isn't who we are. Shame is perhaps what we've learned. And because it was learned, it can be relearned and softened. It can release. It can transform. Shame was one of the most difficult energies that I worked with on this path. So it doesn't dissolve. Shame doesn't dissolve through argument. You can't outthink shame. You cannot intellectually disprove it. Shame loosens only when we meet it directly in the body, in sensation, without resistance, without collapsing into the story. This is why the first movement of healing begins with turning toward that feeling, not to indulge it, not to amplify it, but to feel it. Many of us believe emotions happen to us from the outside. But in truth, we are constructing our emotional experience in real time, moment by moment by moment. So when we can sit with the body sensation of shame without believing the narrative that it is telling us, something begins to shift. Space opens. That emotion moves. It completes a cycle. And this isn't weakness. This is the beginning of freedom. So let's come to that second movement of releasing what's no longer beneficial. That movement of releasing or healing can't be forced. That movement unfolds naturally when the old structures begin to loosen. When shame softens, even just slightly, the heart begins to reveal its original nature. Self-worth isn't something that we build. It's something that we can uncover because it's your nature. Compassion isn't something that we manufacture. It's the warmth that spills into the space previously occupied by that shame, by that self-judgment, that self-condemnation. These teachings tell us that when our system, our mind and heart are no longer locked in threat, the possibilities expand, like empathy, connection, and care. They reawaken. Contemplative wisdom says the same thing, that when grasping and contraction fall away, the heart opens. And this isn't a reward, it's your nature. When we stop identifying with shame, we return to what has always been true, that we are inherently whole, that we're inherently worthy, that we are not mistakes, and that we're not broken. We're beings who have lived through overwhelming experiences. and who are capable of profound transformation. So let's bring these two movements of releasing and welcoming together. That first movement, releasing unworthiness, creates space. The second movement, remembering worthiness, fills that space naturally. We don't have to force the heart to soften. We only have to stop feeding the stories that harden it. When we meet what is painful with awareness, when we stop hiding from what hurts, the system reorganizes itself, the psyche rebalances, the heart reopens. This is how all healing happens, through awareness, through allowing, through presence. Not through rejection, not through self-attack, not through perfection. So the meditation that follows will touch these two movements directly. We will gently invite into our awareness the places where shame may still live. We'll feel the sensation rather than the story. We'll hold the wound rather than hide it. We'll allow tenderness to emerge exactly where the wound wants to find us. And we'll practice returning again and again to our inherent dignity, our inherent goodness, our innate belonging. And that's the natural movement of the heart. That's the truth beneath the conditioned imprints from the past. And this is the beginning of freedom. So let's practice together. Let yourself arrive. Not quickly, not perfectly, just gently arriving in this moment. Let your body find a posture that feels supported. A posture that reflects the intention of the mind and heart state, like alert yet relaxed, open, receptive, but attentive. Shoulders soft, hands resting naturally. Take a slow breath in and a long breath out. And we'll move together through a practice that meets the old conditioned patterns, especially shame and unworthiness, with a quality of presence strong enough to hold them and gentle enough to transform them. Nothing needs to be forced. Nothing needs to be fixed. We're simply creating the conditions for the mind and heart to learn a new way of being in the world. Bring your attention to the breath. Not to control it, but simply to feel it. The rising, the falling, the subtle movement of the belly, the chest, the ribs. Let the breath be a kind companion. Let it remind you that you're here, and it's safe enough to turn inward. As the breath flows, widen your awareness just a little and feel the points of contact. The chair or cushion beneath you, the touch of fabric on your skin, the touch of air on exposed skin, the sensation of the cool air entering your nostrils. Let the body be a place of anchoring, a place that can hold whatever comes. Now let your awareness soften outward. Feel the whole body as one field of sensation. Include the still places, the moving places, the comfortable places, the tender or tight places. Everything's welcome. Everything belongs here. Everything can be held here. Just notice. Noticing is enough. Mindfulness isn't about forcing attention. It's about allowing awareness to become broad, spacious, able to hold the full truth of your experience that you're having without pushing any of that experience away. Let attention and awareness work together. Attention gently resting on the breath. Awareness holding the rest of the body and the mind. Now, as you rest in this grounded awareness and attention on the breath, begin to gently invite forward a part of you that may feel unworthy. A part that perhaps knows shame, a part that's been carrying the belief that I'm not enough. But don't go searching in the mind for it. Just let the body speak. Just ask softly, quietly inside, is there anything here that's ready to be seen? And whatever reveals itself, a sensation, a heaviness, a memory, an emotion, just allow it to be here. You're not trying to solve anything. You're simply meeting what is already here. This is one of the ways that the mind begins to decondition itself, to update those old programs, simply by being seen, by being held in consciousness instead of hidden in the dark recesses and corners. If shame or unworthiness or self-judgment, if any of those old programs are here, shift your attention to the physical sensation of this emotion and just notice, where is it in the body? Is it in the chest, the throat, the belly, the face? Perhaps somewhere deeper? Notice the tendency of the mind to be running into the story about why, where, when, what, who. Try not to go into that story. Not the why, not the when, not the who. Just feel the sensation. As if this emotion were simply energy moving through the body. Because that is, in truth, what it is. Feel the shape of this energy, its temperature, its texture, its rhythm. All conditioning, even shame, is held in the body. And whatever the body can fully feel, it can release. Stay with the sensation. Gentle attention, spacious awareness, holding both at once. This alone begins to update the old patterns, the old habits, the old programs. And if it feels right, I invite you to bring a hand to the area where this emotion is most alive, or where it's often held. Let your touch be warm, soft, human. Feel the contact, feel the warmth of your hand. Let the body sense that I'm here with you. This is how the heart begins to recondition itself through presence, through tenderness, through the simple fact of not turning away from what's unpleasant. Whisper quietly inside, you're allowed to be here. I don't need to push you away. I can hold this feeling. Notice if anything shifts. Just be curious. No agenda. Notice if there's perhaps a subtle softening, even the slightest loosening. It may change, it may not. Both are fine. What matters is that awareness is meeting the wound. And this is what transforms it. Now, gently, without effort, notice something important. Notice that you're aware of this emotion, which means that this emotion isn't you. It's appearing within awareness. It's arising within consciousness, and you are aware of it. Notice that you're the knowing, not the condition that's known. And that condition, whatever it might be, shame, unworthiness, self-judgment, the inner critic, it may be familiar. It may have been here for decades. It may have shaped much of your life, but it's not who you are. Let yourself sense into this truth. The shame isn't your identity. It's a conditioned pattern, a learned program, a survival strategy from a moment of overwhelm at some point in your past. And whatever is learned can be unlearned. Whatever's conditioned can be reconditioned. Feel how the tightness loosens just a bit when you recognize this truth. Not me, not mine, just a pattern arising, just energy moving and flowing. Now, hold the sensation in a wide, loving, open awareness. Give it space, give it breath, give it permission to move. Awareness itself is healing. When the mind observes a conditioned pattern without collapsing into it, without resisting it, without feeding it, the pattern begins to rewrite itself. Let that pattern receive this new information. That you're safe now, that you're present, that you don't need to hide. That the circumstances which created this shame are no longer here. This is how conditioning updates, not by force, by new experience. And let the body and mind absorb this truth. Now, as the shame softens, even slightly, notice what begins to open beneath it. A tenderness, a warmth, a spaciousness. Let this warmth grow gently, not created, revealed. And if it feels right, say quietly inside, I'm worthy of my own kindness. I'm allowed to feel compassion toward myself. I'm enough just as I am. Let these be felt sense truths, not concepts. Let them resonate in the body. Let them fill the space where shame once lived. This is the natural movement of the heart. When the old pattern loosens, compassion emerges. When the contraction releases, worthiness is felt again. Nothing forced, everything unfolding. Now, allow all effort to fall away. Let the breath breathe itself. Let the body just be held. Let the mind rest in awareness. Feel the wholeness that is here. Not perfection, wholeness. Feel the simplicity of being, the quiet dignity of existing, the tender truth that nothing was ever wrong with you. Rest here, in the space beneath the conditioning, beneath the stories, beneath the shame. The space is your nature. This space is who you've always been. Now, begin to bring gentle movement into the hands and feet. Let awareness expand to the whole body. Feel the air. Feel the space in nature. Feel the ground beneath you. Take a slow breath in and a long, slow breath out. Know that the work that you did here continues. The nervous system learns from presence. The heart reorganizes through compassion. And every moment of awareness becomes a seed of freedom. And when you're ready, softly, slowly, return here with kindness.